Mercy, cheers. How you do, buckaroos? How the heck are you? I'm Tom, the Whiskey Whisperer, for the purpose of this video. No, I'm not really in this nice looking little jazz club behind me, but boy, I wish I was. Anyway, how the heck are you? So I got a product I found yesterday. It's out of Wood Hat. These are from Wood Hat Spirits out of distilled and bottled by Wood Hat Spirits, New Florence, Missouri. Show you that bottle. Looks nice, huh? So I was intrigued by this one. I almost put it back because it was a little on the pricey side. But it is a single barrel. Well, here's what drew me to it. It is a single barrel cask strength corn whiskey. It uses the Bloody Butcher red corn. Doesn't say it's an heirloom like some of the other corn whiskey I have, but Bloody Butcher red corn whiskey at 60.3 alcohol per volume. So 120.6 this one clocks in at. Locally grown and ground. See, that's what attracted me to the whiskey as well. Locally grown and ground. Bloody Butcher Red is cooked, fermented, distilled, and aged at Wood Hat Spirits in East Central Missouri. Hands-on from planting to labeling. My eyes are having a hard time focusing here. This unique whiskey is aged in barrels made from, this is the word I'm not sure about, Chickapin white oak that has been air aged, washed by rain for years, mellowing the tannin. So there's a lot of things that intrigued me about this whiskey. And as I put it up on the counter to check out, someone a little bit the ways down said, "Oh, you're gonna love that. That whiskey's insane." So I've got to pour. I'm going to show you the difference here. I poured some neat and rocks. You can see the color difference from putting this on the rocks, right? So anyway, oh wow, that nose is insane. I'm going to dip straight to the rocks. I don't want too much ice to get in this. But that nose, wow, that nose. So I've really been digging corn whiskeys. I picked up 3 heirlooms from Pinckney Bend Distillery a few weeks back, and I've really been enjoying them. I have the Hickory Cane. The Hickory Cane, the Red Cobb, and the Boone County. So here we got the Bloody Butcher. So let's get right to it, shall we? Any questions or comments, please put it up there. If you'd like to be part of the video, let me know. Oh gosh, that's wow. Trying to think of the right word. The first word that came to mind, and I don't know if it's accurate, is dense. Yeah, it feels very wow. Also, not a word typically applied to whiskey, but I use it a lot in beer, especially IPAs. Is you seems like you feel a certain dankness as well. I'm looking forward to trying it neat here, but I don't want too much ice to get too much water to melt in here, so I want to get to it. So not as sweet as you might expect. A lot of corn whiskeys tend to be very sweet. This one is not. It is rather complex. Again, this isn't a bourbon mix or bourbon mash. This is just corn. But yeah, it just takes to that wood. Whoa, it's big and oaky. There's no lie about that. You don't get as much vanilla imparted as you do in a lot of whiskeys, and that could be the oak and how it's treated, or in this case, maybe not treated, right? Oh, God, that's insane. It's insane. Man, that's good, man. I don't care who you are. That's fucking tasty. Yeah, that's good. That's delicious. Wow. Oh, that's delicious, man. This stuff is really good. Yeah, that was good. Will I put it much on the rocks? In all honesty, I really want to get to it neat because it's probably a whiskey that you want to drink solely neat. But I wanted to get it cold one time to see if it might apply to, if I might make a good cocktail. Would it work in a Manhattan, an old fashioned, etc. The flavor is rather distinct. Again, not as sweet as you might expect a corn whiskey to be. I've had some very sweet aged corn whiskeys, but again, this one is that cask. It's a single barrel cask, so it's the first corn whiskey that I've seen at single barrel and cask, which intrigued me. And then when I read the story about everything else and how they treat the barrel, everything was just a little bit different about this particular whiskey, and I was just intrigued. So now that I've got a little more water, again, and putting it on the rocks tends to bring all the sugars to the surface. The fact that I'm not feeling this whiskey very sweet is very interesting to me. Usually if I'm having a bourbon, yeah, you really feel those sugars. Here, right now, I'm right at that what I call the sweet spot where you've got that right amount of melt off. And I am getting what sugars this has to offer, but it's not as sweet as you might expect it to be. Wow, that's interesting. Wow. Excuse me. Boy, that nose is something. Wow. So, wow, the nose is great big here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I kept saying it's not as sweet as I thought it'd be. Typically, when you put a whiskey on ice, those sugars get to the surface. You really feel that sweetness. I really wasn't feeling it there till right near the end. But here, having it on the rocks, yeah, you do feel that sweetness early on. Oh, what I love about this whiskey, I'm going to say right away. Typically, I do the aromas, the flavors, but I'm going to get to that other stuff first, and I'm going to say the viscosity, the mouthfeel. This thing is so velvety smooth. Now, putting it on the rocks is probably a travesty. I should probably never do that again. But I was curious. I may have tried a cocktail once, but truth is, now that I'm having it neat like this really is how this whiskey ought to be served every time. So I told you I wasn't getting a lot of vanilla on the rocks. The ice did really change that quite a bit. So I'm going to forget that for a second and just tell you what I'm picking up here. Yeah, so I'm getting a lot of vanilla. I'm getting a lot of barrel spice. Getting a lot of oak for damn sure. Getting a lot of very dark brown sugar because you're certainly getting some molasses. Also, I'm picking up a hint of maple in there as well. Big oaky and quite spicy in the finish. Oh yeah, very spicy. So typically, you're going to feel cinnamon or allspice as the dominant spice note. But here I'm feeling ginger, to be honest with you. I'm getting ginger as the dominant spice note. I'm certainly feeling some cinnamon, some allspice. some cardamom, maybe even some nutmeg in there, but I'm definitely getting some ginger right away. This thing just feels so decadent, though. Oh my lord! Oh my god! Yeah, I feel like I ought to try it in a Manhattan at least once, but then I think, now this really is a whiskey you need to drink neat. Old fashioned. Can I old fashioned it? I don't know. Again, it is a corn whiskey, and it feels rather complex. Like corn whiskey, uh, as a genre, tends to get shortchanged a bit. I think that's because there are some, let's just say, not great versions of out there. You know, if anybody out there has ever had mellow corn, it's not the worst thing, but it's not the best either. But a beautifully done corn whiskey is incredible. This one from Wood Hat, but again, I've had these other three heirlooms from Pinckney Bend that are, I mean, I'm not going to say better than bourbon, but I'm going to say on par. I would, if somebody says I got a bottle of this bourbon, I got a bottle of this corn whiskey. Yeah, you know what? I might go with the corn because they are very interesting when they're done right. And I guess part of that might be using the right corn variety. I think I took a lot of that for granted. I wasn't thinking that the different variety of corn could change the flavor that much. And I learned my lesson when I had these three versions of the heirloom of the heirloom whiskeys from Pinckney Bend, which is one of the reasons I wanted to try this one was because, well, it didn't say heirloom. It did say single barrel cask strength, and that was, yeah, that definitely piqued my curiosity, man. That piqued my curiosity, baby. Oh man, there is a certain amount of dense or dankness to the nose, though. You almost get that dark Caro syrup like flavor. Not in a bad way, but yeah, I think you kind of feel that again. It kind of then it goes into the brown sugar and just a hint of maple. But yeah, I feel that very dark Caro note. Although I will tell you, as a kid, as a youngster, when my siblings were putting maple syrup on our pancakes, I did love the light Caro. I did like the light Caro on my pancakes and waffles. I did. I preferred that to maple. I really did. Of course, my siblings thought I was crazy, and you probably will too. But I'm telling you, I liked it. Mercy, Percy. Anyways, I digress. But I digress. Oh, fuck nuggets and gravy. That is good. Yeah, I had as I was buying this. It was an employee of the place I was at, so sometimes employees are a little biased. But I mean, he wasn't like I mean, he was a little bit down. It wasn't like right looking at me. He saw that go, was, oh, you're gonna love that. Yeah, and I got to tell you, this stuff is rather amazing. I'm glad in fact, I picked it up, I put it down, I picked it up, I put it down, put it in the car, and took it out of the car. And I had to go through that whole ritual because it was a little on the pricey side for a working class guy like me, to be honest with you. But I really wanted to try it, so obviously I went ahead and bought it. But now I'm glad I did because these flavors, aromas, it is very complex. It is very distinct. I mean, there are just some amazing flavors and aromas happening here with this particular whiskey. Biscuits. Anyway, biscuits. Anyway, I am Tom, the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Vandals, full of whiskey drinker, for everyone, and all around good guy. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I appreciate you.